Here I go, here I go, here I go. Yeah, here I go, here I go.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of The Take. I'm your host, Jackson Burleson, of course, and in today's episode, I'm back with the one and only Gabriel Vasquez. I appreciate you coming on the pod, bro.
Of course, my man.
World Series.
Let's go.
It's here. We did it last year.
We did.
And we're doing it again.
Back-to-back years.
Let's go.
I love baseball.
I had you on, was it like an All-Star game? I think the last time I had you on?
Yeah.
Well, it was around there for the All-Star game.
Season. Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Absolutely.
I'm excited for this one. We have a lot to get through, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I hate starting podcasts like this, by the way. I hate it. But right before the show, we found out Pete Rose died at 83. He's a MLB all-time hits leader. And there's a guy that from ESPN that I really want to hear you guys. I really want to hear his thoughts. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it, and then when we come back, I'm gonna talk about it and ask Gabe a couple questions. So let's hear this real quick.
And his timing on the field as a player was impeccable. He was always in the right place at the right time. And yet, in retirement, he just could not help but do and say the wrong things enough times that got him into trouble and has kept him out of the Hall of Fame. It is a very unfortunate story. It was breathtaking to watch him play, but he made a lot of mistakes along the way. He finally owned up to them, and it's a very complicated legacy for Pete Rose.
Yeah, well said. Complicated legacy is definitely the best way to put it. And before I get Gabe's thoughts, I do want to mention Charlie Hustle was the nickname for him, and he wasn't the most talented guy, I will say. 17-time All-Star, just paved the way for baseball. And the way I found out was the weirdest thing ever, by the way. I came home, and I turned on SportsCenter. I was like trying to see like who won the Mets-Braves game, right? And then Eduardo Perez, you know him, he's a play-by-play guy for ESPN. He's like in an interview with Jay Harris, and we're like, okay, like how do you feel about the Mets? Like how do you feel about them? They're dangerous or whatever. After he answers the question, he goes, well, I have some unfortunate breaking news here. My dad told me that Pete Rose died. So I'm like, that is the craziest thing. Like that is nuts for breaking news like that to come through. I couldn't believe how that broke. But what are your thoughts about Pete Rose being dead at 83?
Oh, he lived a long life. You know, he went through past 80. That's great. You know, anytime you can get past the 80 mark when you're living is great. But as a big baseball fan, in general, like we said, he's a great player. He hit for contact. That was his main thing. He didn't have that many home runs. His power is not off the charts, but he hit for contact, and he had the heart to win. And he had the amazing work ethic to do what he had to go over the hump to win. And I feel like that puts him over the top of a lot of players, especially in that era. I mean, he won 3 World Series, 2 with Cincinnati, 1 with the Phils. So it just shows his work ethic is there. It's unfortunate. I mean, again, we don't know the exact cause of his death. They're not exploring that right now, but it is sad for the baseball world. I personally believe he's one of the best contact hitters of all time, one of the best, players in our game. But like the Sot said, his actions off the field kind of cost him, in his time just being as a human prior with him playing baseball. So it's unfortunate, but what he did on the field, stands out.
Yeah, the field. Yeah, definitely what he did on the field stood out, and then what he did off the field stood out too. I mean, the gambling and all that stuff, and it was weird because when the gambling initially started, he was still a player manager for like 3 years. Mm-hmm. And then he goes and is a full-time manager, and then we know what happened after 1989. But
unfortunately,
it's definitely crazy to think about, but there's one question I wanted to ask you. So they banned him for life from baseball. You can't get in the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. Now that his life is over, is he a Hall of Famer?
Well, personally, in my opinion, regarding the bans, yes, he should be in Hall of Fame, but just because he's dead is not going to change that. I was talking to one of my close coworkers, former coworkers, and we were talking about a big Reds fan, and we both agreed that if they put him in the Hall of Fame now, I think that's disrespect. because it's showing that you had to wait for something tragic to happen to him to put him in the Hall of Fame. You should have done that when he was here, and he admitted that he did what he was wrong, and the commissioners should have worked together throughout the time.
Bud Selig,
correct.
So I was talking to my dad about this. Shout out to my dad. I know you're listening. He was saying like something like there were like rumors going around of like when Pete Rose dies, there's gonna be like documents that come out about like the whole like gambling scandal or whatever. That's what I've been hearing. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if you can confirm those rumors or what.
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I never heard that, but I wouldn't doubt that. I would feel like if that's the case, then they probably will reveal some things that we don't know. And I just think it's a little insulting to put him in. Like, okay, he died. I know that's how we are. Like, oh, some tragic happened. We gotta give him the benefit of the doubt. I get that, but I feel like if that was the case, he should have put him in before. I mean,
he should have been in.
He should have been in.
And there were also rumors that the MLB and Pete Rose were trying to cut a deal before he got the lifetime ban. It was like they were going to suspend him for a year. Like he came clean or whatever, and then it didn't happen that way.
Yeah, it's a weird situation how that happened, but we'll see what happened. I have a feeling they will.
That would be so crazy. I feel like that'd be honestly wilder if they did it that way.
That's what I'm saying.
If they just put him in right now.
No, I mean, it might take a minute, but
still, like
it's just the principle.
Because he wanted to be in there when he was alive. Like he stated that multiple times.
Right. What difference does it make that he's in it when he's dead? He doesn't know.
Right. I mean, there's people in baseball that came back that have been way worse things. And we're not going to get into that, but there's way worse things to do than gamble.
Oh yeah, I get that, and I just feel like the culture that we're in, the gambling is such like this horrendous thing. I mean, it has its issues, but it's so put in our face now that
it is.
I mean,
we're about to put it in you guys' face right now. That's a great segue. I appreciate that. Let's get into JB's picks, courtesy of Hard Rock Bets. This is the only betting app you can use in the state of Florida. So if you're outside of Florida, you can't use this. And I'm not encouraging you to take my bets, by the way. So my pick is plus 125 for the Detroit Tigers to win Game 1 against the Houston Astros. I'm going to name a couple reasons why I'm picking the Tigers. One of them is Yordan Alvarez is a 50-50 shot to be on the wild card roster for the Astros. He had that leg injury Saturday, and he's their best player, I think. So especially hitting the baseball. So that's going to be hard. And then also Kyle Tucker, he came back from that shin injury. He hasn't had enough time to get his legs under him. We'll see how he performs. But I don't see the Astros, especially also they have a first-year manager. So with Joe Esparara. So I don't think the Astros can get it done in Game 1.
I would agree. I also think that AJ Hinch making a return.
Yes,
would be pretty spectacular there. I can see a little upset coming, but I would agree. And
What's your pick?
Oh, my pick will be I think the Braves. I mean, I only just won today. They're crazy with injuries.
Plus 135 if anybody cares, but
yeah, plus 135. Crazy, but they got to go to San Diego. San Diego's hot right now. They're doing well, but again, the starter position's up for grabs right now with the short rest they had to go through, and Sale has some back spasms again. So
yeah, that was weird. I didn't even know he was supposed to start today for possibly the second game of the doubleheader.
Yeah, and then they just Chris Sale injuries, I guess. But I'll take the Braves for Game 1, especially if Max Fried he gets the nod for Game 1.
I would agree. And we also got probably the Cy Young Award winner in the American League, Tarek Skubal, starting in Game 1. Yeah. So that's a big factor.
Absolutely.
But let's move on to, is Shohei Ohtani the GOAT? He had the first 50-50 season ever. He has an argument. This year he's had arguably the greatest season ever. But does that make him the GOAT? I don't think so. Because one great season doesn't make you have a great career. And he hasn't played for 20 years or 15 years. It's the best way I can think of it, Gabe, is it's like Mahomes dominating for a short time like he is now. But with Ohtani, you can just take away the championships. It's the same thing, I think.
Okay, here we go. So,
with the dominance. Okay. He needs to show that he can dominate longer than 6-7 years.
I could agree with that to a point, but the thing with the Brady, just really quick, Brady and Mahomes. I just brought up Brady. Mahomes has to be the GOAT because he has to pass Brady in rings. Everyone knows that. In baseball, you don't have people talking about Ohtani passing anyone in rings. No one talks about that.
But he has to pass them in like playing years and stats. He has to have like the statistics have to build up.
I feel like he's proved himself already. I feel like what he's done in his past, along with this season, it doesn't compare. I mean, he's done something at this point in his career that no one has ever done. So I feel like he just made a case for it. And athletes have said it in every sport. They made a case for it.
If you talk about ask a person, create a player, you're pulling every single attribute Shohei Ohtani has, of course.
Of course.
But we're talking about a whole body of work here. Like, if you put him in the realm of Griffey, Ruth, and Barry Bonds, his stats are not as good career-wise because he just hasn't played long. I just think it's too early.
I'm not putting Barry Bonds in there, first of all. That's just my thing. But I feel like just what he's done is just, it's just unheard of. And he hit for power, hit for average, runs, and pitches. What else do you want?
Do you want me to verify your claim? Because I have a soundbite, by the way, that I want to play. Talking Baseball podcast. I want to hear. I want to hear what your reaction is to this, and then we can continue this conversation. Okay. Let's hear this really, really quickly.
He's not a generational talent. He's the best to ever do it. Nobody that's put a baseball glove on their hand or picked up a bat can say that they are a better overall baseball player than Shohei Ohtani. And that was true before 50-50. I don't think you could make an argument for anybody else literally ever because he does everything. We know he's got pop. Like even the 50th homer goes oppo, looked weird, like a weird swing. 109 off the bat. Like I don't get it. Like his exit velo is so good. He hits the ball so hard. But then when he runs, it's crazy. He's got long strides. He's just a different type of player. This is the guy that we're going to be telling our grandkids about.
W talking baseball. W. I love my boys, John Boy and Jake. I love them. They know the big baseball guys, but I mean, it's not that much to say. He kind of said it for you, and he runs. And I haven't heard this yet, but I don't want to hear the bases being bigger or like the pickoffs. No, Ohtani has that. He has that electric, awareness of running the base. I mean, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he has the awareness to run the bases. Things he does is just, it's unheard of. Like you don't go oppo 109 off the bat. You don't do that.
Oh, and Bonds and Griffey couldn't do that? Hitting the baseball?
Okay, well, Bonds, I'm not getting into that. But
why not?
Because that man's a cheater, bro.
Who cares? His numbers are still existing. He may not be in the Hall of Fame, but it still is in the history books.
Oh, it should be scraped. Anyway, I don't think Ohtani needs steroids to hit a ball 450 feet. Ohtani got that raw power. I mean, a Bond is a
Well, if we look at the total home runs here, Ohtani has 225 to Barry's 762. So that's what I'm saying with the longevity and the bigger body of work. He needs to play longer. And he also needs to get a chip to solidify this legacy. Ruth won one, Koufax won one, and Jeter won one. That cemented them as one of the greatest in the game. And if he wants to be the GOAT...
Did Griffey win?
No.
Okay, well then it's not his fault.
No.
Because Griffey didn't... I mean, he had a good team, but he's just going to get it done. Anyway, it's just unfortunate to baseball. That just happens. And I've never wanted the Dodgers to win as much as I want them to do now. Because I need Ohtani to do good, get this, scrape off my back. Just to talk, needs a ring. He's the GOAT, bro. Like, he has it.
But he needs a ring, though. Like, you can't have a ring. You can't be the GOAT without a ring. Like, that's hard, I feel like.
No, especially not in baseball. Football, especially basketball, yeah, but not in baseball. You need a ring to be it's good to add to your resume, but you don't need it. You don't need a ring to be the GOAT in baseball. That's me, because Mike Trout considerably, he's had his issues, but Mike Trout considerably was going to be and could have been the best player to
But does Barry not count? 7 MVPs?
No.
7.
I don't care. That man's a cheater.
He's 7 MVPs.
No, doesn't faze me. No one talks about it. That doesn't faze me.
Does Ohtani have a Gold Glove? No.
He doesn't play the field.
But so he's the GOAT, but he's better than all these guys, but he doesn't field. We haven't seen that.
But he pitches.
These guys don't pitch, but Ohtani doesn't field. It's the same thing.
It's the totally different point. No, that makes no sense.
Yes,
no,
it does.
That's no.
Explain. Why does it not make sense?
Because he doesn't play the field.
Right. These guys don't play on the mound.
But he does it better both sides. Like,
how does he do it better both sides if he doesn't even play defense?
But so you're saying that he needs a Gold Glove to be a Gold?
But he doesn't have one. If you're talking about a totality of a player.
But that's not what
he said. We even played the side. He said he's better than everybody at everything. But he hasn't fielded. We can assume, he's going to be a great fielder. I think he would be, but we haven't seen that.
Don't you not like the ifs or assumptions? So if we're assuming that if he's a good fielder, then it doesn't make.
But we're okay. What if Griffey was a good pitcher? What if Barry Bonds could pitch? I mean, that'd be a completely different conversation.
But again, in baseball, you're assigned to do what you're supposed to do. Like, you can't say Ohtani has no Gold Gloves, so he's not a GOAT. He's not supposed to field. That's not what he's supposed to do.
But if he can do everything, then he should go get it. Improve it.
But that's not baseball. LeBron can do.
Let's not do that.
LeBron can do everything on the court. He can block, he can steal, he can shoot, he can screen, pass. That in a basketball player, I feel like it's to be more. I mean, I'm not a basketball guy, but I think it'd be more, in a way, complete. But in baseball, you have to be complete at what you're good at. And if Ohtani is complete in the categories, especially with hitting, hits for power, hits for average, and gets on base.
Where's Ohtani's Cy Young? Where's that at? Why has he not had a Cy Young yet? If he's so great,
well, he'll get one.
When's he gonna get it?
When he pitches again.
But he had. Oh, but I thought he should have had one before.
I'm in an MVP.
I was surprised. I looked it up. I thought he had one.
No, he didn't have a Cy Young. I knew that.
I was so shocked.
I knew he didn't have a Cy Young. But you're not gonna give it to Ohtani. He's gonna go an MVP. Like, I mean, in 2021, he probably was like maybe top 5, top 10 in Cy Young voting, but he's not gonna get it. Not because he's not good, but because it's MVP. I mean, you're not gonna give someone an MVP and a Cy Young. I know he's amazing, but like, give someone else a Cy Young.
No one's ever gotten an MVP and a Cy Young before?
No, I don't think so. But Clayton Kershaw got MVP. He didn't get Cy Young.
That's weird.
No, that's how it works. You're not gonna give them both awards if they're dominant in one thing. Like, Clayton Kershaw had an amazing season, but he's not gonna get Cy Young. Who got MVP? The next person probably.
That's weird. I don't, because Cy
Young. Wrong with that.
Because Cy Young's for like the best pitcher, so I don't. That doesn't really make sense.
When
to
a pitcher is like absolutely dominant and he's like the best player in the league, and maybe the league is not as good, I mean, you can get MVP.
Is it just because they don't want to stack the awards on one person?
They don't want to stack the awards on a person. I mean, I don't believe he won a Cy Young and MVP.
I don't think so. I would have to look it up and see who has won a Cy Young.
I could be wrong, but I don't recall him winning 2014 Cy Young. I don't.
And MVP.
Yeah.
Who's won a Cy Young and an MVP? Okay, since that first one, no pitcher has won his league's MVP award without also winning the Cy Young award. Newcomb, 1956. So none of these guys.
No. That's just.
Wait, all these guys. Hold on. All these guys.
Is that what it's saying?
So, I don't. That first sentence doesn't make any sense. But Newcomb 56, Koufax 63. Is that saying each have one?
No, it's saying that since oh, wait for my mic. Since whoever did it last.
MLB pitchers who won the Cy Young and the MVP in the same season. Okay, so it's clearly been done. Okay, that's right. Don Newcomb, Sandy Koufax, Bob Gibson, Denny McLain, Vinny Blue, Rolly Fingers, I love that name. Willie Hernandez. Dude, look at these mustaches. Look at these mustaches. I'll put up a couple on the screen because these mustaches are actually immaculate. Roger Clemens.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He did. Okay,
Verlander even won one too.
Okay.
That's
right.
Kershaw.
Oh, he did Kershaw. Okay.
Yeah, so you're right. Yeah,
okay.
so you're right.
All right. Okay. Okay, then Ohtani needs to get on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I was like the one. That's like the one thing I looked at. I was kind of shocked about that.
Okay, Ohtani's gonna get on it. That's on me.
We're gonna keep the Ohtani talk going, but I'm almost ready to say he's the GOAT, but I just want to see him do it longer. That's the only thing. Okay. I know he has the intangibles. That's the bottom line.
Okay, I'll take it.
What's our dream World Series matchup, Gabe? Let's start with you.
Oh, well, it's the team I'm repping right now with the New York Yankees. Me and my dad have always dreamed of that World Series.
Cubs
and Yankees, yeah. Well, it almost happened recently.
I told him before the pod that it doesn't have to be realistic. So
yeah, that's not realistic. I mean, it could be. I mean,
if we somehow manage to sneak in the postseason tomorrow night,
I mean, we'll get cooked. Yeah, right. But yeah, I mean, they face each other in 32 and 38. Both got swept. Famously, in 1932, that's when Babe Ruth did his college shot at Wrigley Field. I don't know if you knew that. So
There he is.
well, I mean,
The
Ohtani-
legacy of the game.
Ohtani can do that in this league.
That sounds
Anyway,
so good.
So, but yeah, that's my dream World Series. I love that.
So Cubs, Yanks.
Cubs, Yanks.
I got Yanks in there too with the Dodgers this year.
That's a good one.
So I want to see them, Ohtani and Judge, the two faces of the league, play. That's what I want to see. And there's a lot of history between these people, or not these people, but these teams.
Absolutely.
Like it goes back all the way to the 1940s.
Mm-hmm.
They've met 11 times in the World Series.
Yeah,
It's a lot of times.
it is.
I'd love to see that rivalry continue.
Ooh, that would be amazing, especially with the game now, dude. Cole, Ohtani. You got maybe Ohtani pitches. He probably won't, but like
Bro,
this year, like Bueller, Judge. I mean, that's a pretty.
Mookie, Freddie.
Mookie, Freddie, Riz is in there. I'll take it.
He's hurt. He said, I think I read an article. It said he's not playing in the first round because of his. He had a fracture. He had something in his fingers going on.
He played recently.
He got a fractured finger, if I'm reading correct. Because I read that
Something
today.
like that, probably.
Too bad. He's kind of gotten beat up by injuries, but yeah, and also like just for baseball in general, if that World Series happens, you've got LA and New York, bro. That'll be one of the most watched World Series of all time.
Oh, it better be.
It will.
It better be. I mean, absolutely. I mean, with the history it has behind it, and the stars are in that series alone, not just in each team, it's gonna go off. And you have two of the best markets.
And the Japanese fans are going to watch too.
Absolutely.
All the Ohtani people are going to be watching it.
Yamamoto and all these guys.
That's going to spike it. That's going to spike the ratings.
That's what baseball needs.
They need it because I feel like baseball's had a good season. Like it's actually been very entertaining, especially with this like NL and AL wildcard spot. It's been kind of crazy, but I just want to see the legends get brought back up with the Dodgers. Jackie Robinson, Mickey Mantle, those guys. Like, I want to see that. I want to see that because they're definitely going to go back down memory lane and paint the picture here and be like, hey, these guys used to be across the bridge in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. Now they're across the whole entire United States, and they're playing
again. A lot of storylines, and I, as long besides Cubs Yanks, I would love that matchup, and it could happen this year. But
do you know the last time Dodgers and Yankees played in the World Series? I have the answer, by the way. I just want to see if you know. You're on the right track.
Is it the 80s?
Yes, it is the 80s.
1.
Yes.
Got it.
Wow. 1981 met in the Fall Classic, a series that took place during the tumultuous post-strike season.
Yeah, that's right. That is right.
Dodgers won in 6 games.
Yep, correct.
And I think that was their first World Series title for the legendary Dodgers manager, Tommy Lasorda. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, a lot of history there. That's why I want to see it. Honestly, like I mean, it's a tuning matchup. Even Garrett Cole versus Clayton Kershaw. If Kershaw can even get on the field, I don't think he can get on the field. He's like, I don't know. I feel like we're gonna talk about it in a little bit with Clayton Kershaw. I actually won't get into it right now because we're gonna bring it back up later. But yeah, I feel actually. You know what? We'll stay on the Dodgers for a second because I do have a couple bones to pick with the Dodgers right now because I picked them at the beginning of the season.
You did.
And I'm a little scared right now because Tyler Glass now, he's out for the season. They're beat up in their bullpen. Beat up. Like, I wonder if Ohtani should pitch because he obviously can throw right now. I don't know if he's starting, but at least give him some depth.
They might give him some bullpen time. I mean, it might be a little closer role. I mean, maybe some, at the back end of the bullpen, but I don't think it'll be anything crazy like he's starting. But I sent you on Instagram the starters. They don't look too bad. I don't hate their rotation. I think it's better than last year's.
Well, I mean, that doesn't really say a whole lot.
And it depends on who they play. They would either play the Padres or the Braves.
Okay.
If they play the Braves,
I feel like the Braves is a better matchup, in my opinion.
No, yeah, because I think the Braves will give them like a somewhat fight.
Padres would be tough because that's a divisional opponent.
I'm sorry, the Padres give them a fight, not the Braves, unfortunately.
No, the Braves are kind of in shambles right now, even though they're somehow in the postseason.
I know I sent you the rotation. Here we go.
Yeah. Also, the rotation's nuts. But I want to say something because Dave Roberts, the manager, he said there's like a meeting Wednesday going on when he was asked about Ohtani pitching in the postseason. He said there's a meeting going on within the organization. He's going to be there. So I don't know what that's all about, but it seems like they're entertaining it a little bit.
No, I could see it happening because they had him throw on the field. I saw that. I saw it on social media.
It's not like his arm's cold and he hasn't been throwing all season.
No, I mean he's throwing here and there. He's not trying to wear and tear it because you don't want to wear and tear. You don't want to keep going that on a Tommy John surgery. You don't want to do that. But I mean, again, that would be huge. You go watch out for that. We gotta watch out. If Ohtani
What's the Dodgers rotation going in without Ohtani?
They got Jack Flaherty,
Yeah, he's good.
Yamamoto, Bueller, and Landon Knack. I believe that's his last name. I'm gonna pronounce it right. But yeah, Knack, I'm not too high
I feel
on,
like Jack Flaherty and Yamamoto are like the two only guys that have been stable for this Dodgers team.
Yeah, I like Walker Bueller. He's a little iffy. He's been dealing with injuries himself, but maybe can get bounced back. I mean, I used to hate on the Dodgers.
Isn't he under 500, like his record or something like that? Like, he's not that great.
He was really good.
He used to be. He's just kind of old now.
Well, yeah, he battled injuries. I mean, Jack Flaherty also the same thing. He was going to the Cardinals, but nothing.
He just came back. He's supposed to be doing better.
No, yeah, they're getting. I mean, and the postseason you only need 4 in the rotation, so that cuts it down. Good. You only need like the 5th guy in there.
That was a big deal at the trade deadline when they got him.
No, for sure.
They needed him.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I feel like the Dodgers are always missing like some kind of pitching. Like they always have the hitting.
They've always struggled with it. I'm thinking in recent years because I mean, they're always choking the playoffs.
That's what I'm worried about. That's why I'm like really hesitant to pick them right now.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, like
I want them, but again, see if Ohtani is pitching, then
if he's pitching, it's a different conversation, and they have to. I feel like they should.
He won't start.
If they're smart, they should.
He won't start though.
No, I wouldn't, and I wouldn't start Kershaw either. If Kershaw comes back, I'd have him coming out of the bullpen easily. There's no point in starting him.
No, I can see that. Well, yeah,
his arm is not built for 5 innings. It was
needs
barely built for half inning last year.
Yeah, no kidding.
What did he give up, like 6 runs in 1 inning?
First, he got taken out
In the first half of the inning?
to the Diamondbacks. Remember that game too? That was pretty bad.
That guy's like 500 years old, dude.
He needs 3K strike.
God, he's been so
right there.
God, he's been so bad. He's gonna get it. It's just I don't know. He barely played this year.
No, he didn't. I knew.
What did he play, like 2 games? I mean,
like 2 or 3 games. It wasn't anything crazy.
it's not good.
No.
They're still the favorites, though. The Dodgers. They're still the odds-on favorite.
To win the whole thing.
Yeah, which I'm kind of surprised it hasn't changed going into the postseason with all these concerns.
Well, I think they have the best record in the league.
Yeah, they got the best record.
I mean, they've had the best record in the league for what? Like,
I mean,
6 out of the past 7
well, they
years.
had didn't they have like 102 wins last year or something like that? No team in baseball this year, by the way, didn't have 100 wins.
Very odd. This year with the wins has been very odd. I was a stat I saw like maybe it was like in August, something like no team has like had like 90 wins, something like that. I could be wrong, but like it was a really weird scenario where 100 wins. Usually you see a good team with 100 wins, but the game is getting harder. The game is getting harder. I mean, that's really all I can say. The pitching is dominant. They're like, it's not like a crazy rumor, but like, how in 1968, you're the pitcher, they say. They lowered the mound, or no, they backed up the mound, I'm sorry, and they lowered it. And when they backed it up, they gave the hitter more room because the pitcher was dominating. Pitchers was dominating that year, and they had to, do something about the hitting. So, let's see what happens, what they do.
Yeah. I think it's also just like, I think there was just a lot of really good teams. Like even teams that didn't make the playoffs, like the Mariners. I mean, on paper they were good. They were supposed to make the playoffs. And then the Cubs, they have a good team on paper, should have made the playoffs. Reds, they have a good team on paper. Okay. I don't know if they should have made the playoffs, but
I mean, they had high hopes going into last year, but I mean, nothing crazy. The Reds are kind of mid. Sorry.
We did lose to them the last game of the season.
We won the series. That's all that matters to me.
Yeah, I guess that's all that matters. But all that matters in Chicago is championships. So we're not satisfied this year. Okay, now that I'm bringing up the Cubs, because I wasn't planning on talking about them, but since every time we're on a podcast together, we have to talk about it. what is the plan this offseason for the Chicago Cubs?
I don't know,
Like,
man.
what do we need to do?
I honestly think we were just unlucky this year. I really do think, like, I just think we were just unlucky. We were in a lot of one-run games. A lot of them. That's on the bad end of luck. Like, if we're on the good end of that, I remember a stat. It was like we were 13-17 in the month of June in one-run games. If we're
That's
on the
so
other
bad.
side of that, we're 17-13. That's not crazy. But we need a solid closer. Jed Hoyer needs to get us closer. Need to find a better.
Well, it was
like-
better towards the end of the year when we got rid of Choke Nearest.
Yeah, I did. I mean, well, we have Porter Hodge, but I like him more in the back end. I want a solid ninth inning closer that goes 1-2. Like Emmanuel Glacé, amazing, great closer. Like we need someone like him just to shut the door.
How concerning was the runners on scoring position too?
Oh yeah, that too was horrible. Again, but that's also it's just bad luck. That's just bad luck in my opinion. Like I mean, it's skill. Like you have to drive in those runs. Absolutely.
No, you have to. Like
Right.
I feel like that's the hardest thing to do in baseball.
No,
though,
for
Is
sure.
when you have the guys on bases, is getting them in.
No, yeah, they have to drive them in. Like, there's no excuse. And I just feel like, it's about the other side of the luck card, but I just feel like they have to do more than that. They got to find ways in the lineup to just find a way to drive runs. And it got better. I mean, a little too late. Our season didn't end on a horrible note. I mean, it was okay, but just when you
We weren't able to get hot enough long enough.
no, we weren't. I
Like
mean,
we had streaks where we like won a couple games.
Yeah.
Like we went 8-2 in one 10-game stretch.
Yep.
And then we go like 3-7. I'm like, dude,
there's no consistency.
none.
That's all we need. It's just consistency and just better back into the bullpen and just more clutchness, I feel like. There wasn't that much. I mean, there was again towards the end of the year, but like during the year, don't have Swanson not clutching up here. I mean, Cody didn't have like a
Bellinger gone now?
season.
He's got a player option.
I think he wants to stick around. I think he again feels like this team is talented than it is on paper that we saw this year. I feel like he wants to give it one more go, and I feel like if it doesn't go right, or at least if we don't make the playoffs next year, I think Cody wants out.
I wouldn't be. I mean, he's last year on his contract next year, so he's going to be a free agent, unrestricted free agent. So he's going to be able to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I mean, even this, if the Cubs for some reason are horrible at the trade deadline coming next year, he's gone, 100%.
I thought we were going to trade him this year. My opinion.
I think him being injured kind of saved us because he was injured around the trade deadline.
Yeah, he was.
So like that kind of, I don't know if they would trade him. I thought the Cubs like they weren't buyers, but they weren't sellers either.
But we did buy though. That's the thing. We traded this guy.
Yeah, we did.
Christopher Morel, dude. Now he's in Tampa.
Yeah, he's not doing too great, but I mean, we will see if we win the trade. I feel like if Paredes has a good year next year, which I think he could. I think he had a really like awkward transition from Tampa to Chicago in a closed in-dome stadium to like one of the could be. And this year was a pitcher's ballpark, and I saw a graphic watching the Cubs that this year at Wrigley was one of the worst this year to hit, and the wind was just blowing in almost every darn game. Like, I don't know if I have it on my
I mean, it is called a Windy City for a reason, so I'm not surprised.
unfortunately. But usually like in the summer, you just like the wind blows out enough for us to hit the ball. But you would think the power numbers would like help us, but just in general, like the hitting numbers in general were just off. Not just in the power department, just period.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely interesting.
I don't know if I have it. I'm not gonna look for it. Like made this power go longer. But
Yeah, let's get into the our play of the week here.
all right, bet.
It's from today, actually.
Oh really?
Yes.
Okay, let's
So
go.
I don't have the video up, but you can hear it. You're gonna get a little radio vibe here, even
Okay,
though
here we
it's
go.
not actually a radio call. But if I can press the right button here, I'll play it.
And Lindor gets under one to center field. Harris going back, back near the wall, and it's out of here! Linsanity again! Francisco Lindor flips the script with a two-run homer, and the Mets go in front 8-7.
Is he MVP?
There's no Ohtani, unfortunately. And I'm repping his, our island, my beautiful island of PR, but I love Lindor. He's from Caguas too. Caguas is my grandmother's hometown, so it's kind of like weird for me not to say he's MVP, and I really want him to. And at this point, he has a case. But if you know what, I'll say this: if Ohtani doesn't hit 50-50, he's MVP.
I agree.
But because Ohtani did that, there's no way he's not. But that's the case where if Ohtani stayed in the AL, Lindor was MVP. Oh, my bad. Now, one thing I kind of saw today about Lindor, his OPS is not crazy high. I thought it was a little higher than it was. It's like a little above 800. Not to say it knocks him off, but that play right there, that's an MVP play.
I would say so.
That's what makes MVPs. That's clutch.
No, that's definitely clutch. He was 2 for 5, 3 RBIs and a home run today. And they needed to win that game.
It's a must win. That is what MVPs do. And you could see him maybe get Silver Slugger. He had 33 homers this year. So.
And it's crazy how slow of a start he had, and then he ends up batting like 270.
Just the team in general.
Yeah, it's weird.
32 home runs, my bad.
Stay on the Mets for a second. It just absolutely it's flabbergasting that they had the highest payroll in baseball. By the way, I picked them twice to win the World Series when that happened.
Yeah,
and then they get rid of that payroll. Then they somehow are better. Like, what? How does that make any sense?
2 words. That's baseball.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, you got a stacked roster there. Yeah. The last 2 seasons. Then you get worse and you get better. I mean, what?
All it takes is good momentum. Good momentum when you have a good side of the ball. I mean, hey, maybe every team should have Grimace throw their first pitch.
Or maybe they shouldn't be giving a guy or a whole roster $600 million or whatever it was.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes when you this is like a trend. This not in baseball, but in sports, when you overplay a player, they just significantly just don't perform as well.
And I feel like when you have a team on paper, it doesn't work.
Because
like you would think it would, though.
So many, but that's why I'm not big on paper.
But you would think it would. If you look at a roster and you're like, oh, they've got these guys.
Right.
They got all-stars here. They got all-stars there. And then you're looking at their record. They're like, well, they only have 55 wins at the end of the season. How does that make that? It just doesn't.
Because there's so much more that goes into a sport than just what is on the table. You know, you need luck,
chemistry,
you need momentum. You know, it's just so much. You know, I can go about.
And the egos are tough to deal with, especially when you have star players. Like on paper teams, I feel like have that problem.
Right, for sure, because there's so many of them that they feel like they can all contribute in their own way and their own talent.
And they want to be the star too.
Right, they want to be the best, but you can't be the best all the time.
No. I feel like the Mets have had a weird couple of years, especially the last 3. I think
I do.
They should have been in the postseason. But then they're worse and they make the postseason. But when they're better on paper, they don't make the postseason.
I mean, they started 0-5.
Yeah, well, 0-5 for baseball really doesn't matter that much since there's 162 games.
Yeah, you're right. I just feel like, the mentality of the team is like, oh, man, here we go again with the Mets. Same old Mets. Whatever. Shout out to Gus Ramsey. I'm probably going to be right there. I know he's happy.
Big Mets fan. I know he was happy today. Kind of win-win in Atlanta. The Mets got in and the Braves got in.
Yeah. So, reminds me of the Chargers and Raiders.
The Raiders.
That 1 year.
Yeah, where they could have tied it, but they didn't. What's your biggest wild card round upset that you got?
Oh, yes. I go Tigers.
I got the same pick.
Oh, okay. I just did that.
I got the same pick. Yeah, I think the Tigers, man. I mean,
they look good.
The last stretch, they went 31-11.
Javi.
Hottest team in baseball the last six years. Yeah, we got them up here.
Javi, woo.
We need to Photoshop that into a Tigers jersey.
No, absolutely. I got a Puerto Rico jersey too, man. Boricua. But yeah,
it's been an unreal season for them, man.
Absolutely,
it really has.
Yeah.
They came out of nowhere too. No one thought they were going to be good.
They were like 0.4% to make it, like in mid-August,
and they clear it easily.
They
jumped us. We were ahead of them.
They went on a 31-11 run since August 11th.
Yeah, that's what I said. That is the craziest run I've seen, dude. And Cubs had a better chance at that point to make the postseason than they did. We destroyed them in the summertime.
Yeah, we did.
We beat the brakes out of them, dude. Yeah. And then they somehow... And they also ended the season hot. 7-3 in their last 10.
Yeah.
That's good.
But when you beat the Royals, when you sweep the Royals... That is when you know. I know it's a division opponent, and you get the better half sometimes with them. But to sweep a good team like that, especially when how they saw you as a team, to beat them, that's big.
That's when Tigers fans woke up. I think they're like, oh,
That starts the back end of the year. They're like right there. It's a big sweep, man.
And the Royals are not a cakewalk team. I'll say that.
Absolutely not.
I really do think it's cool though, because the Tigers haven't made the postseason in a decade.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to see that drought get broken because Miguel Cabrera was on that team the last time they made the playoffs.
Literally, that's so crazy. And he just retired too. That's so sad.
The wild card, it wasn't even there yet.
No, it wasn't. Correct. That is correct.
So bad.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. Either the Tigers' youth is going to get to them or it's going to really help them.
That is exactly
Because they don't have any stars on the team.
No,
I mean, I
don't.
like Riley Green, but he's not a superstar by any means. And he's a really young player.
Exactly. I was watching ESPN in between the games. There is no solid star. I mean, you can probably take Skubal as their biggest
That's
star.
probably their best player.
Other than that, you don't see anyone that just shines. But again, that's where management comes in. I feel like AJ Hinch has done a great job of managing this team to the point where.
Yeah, I mean, you look at their lineup: Max Verling, Colt Keith. I mean, those aren't household names.
You don't hear about.
I mean, they all have like 510 plus at bats.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not. I mean, okay, Matt Verling batted 257, Colt Keith batted 260, Riley Green batted 260. So their top of their batting averages are good. It's consistent, like top three, and it kind of, I don't know. They have a lot of consistency. I think they have enough talent, like role player wise. It's like a team. It's like weird to me. I feel like I don't really know how to compare it. Really,
Again, it's just the game works.
It's kind of like that Royals team in 2015, where no one expected them to be good, but they have like good enough talent that's like, I guess, overall microscope.
Well, they were expected to be good because they went to the World Series the previous year. They had stars. That whole
Not that year, not 2014 and not that year.
14 no, but 15.
15 yes, but 2014 no.
No. 14 they kind of like they snuck in. I think they were in the wild card that year. Yes, they were. And they snuck in. They beat the Athletics and they made a run and But that's baseball. All you need is a chance. All you need is one chance to get in. And hey, Tigers can make a run, and who knows? I think they could put up a fight with Detroit. Houston, jeez.
Do you think Tigers will make the World Series?
No. It'll be great though. It'll be a great story, but no.
Do you think it can do something like the Diamondbacks did last year?
Well, I mean, and yes, in this day and age with the playoff format, I could. I take that back. Yes, maybe, but I feel like the Tigers might need just that one, maybe two, like straight, raw talent guy. I know Javi was supposed to be that guy, and unfortunately, it doesn't work out. But
he's flashes of himself. I'm sorry,
I miss him. But
he's batting 182 on the season. That's horrendous.
It's very bad.
That's really bad.
Javi.
What's your biggest sleeper for a World Series run?
I have it. Well, I said D-backs, but that's not
He didn't make the playoffs.
that says D-block. I'm sorry. It does not say D-backs. I said Mets. I mean, it's kind of a sleeper. They're in a weird spot with the wild card.
I mean, they are a low seed.
They gotta face the Brewers. Man, they'll take care of them.
They're fine. I was worried that they're going to have to play the Padres, but thank God they don't have to play the Padres.
They'll bypass the Brewers. They'll be fine.
Yeah, Brewers suck. We hate the Brewers. We hate them with our whole heart. We hate them. I'm going to say Royals. I think Royals could really make a World Series push this year. And Bobby Witt Jr. has been a top 5 player in the league this year.
I also think he'll be a big MVP candidate.
He will. I think he'll probably be, second in the voting?
He'll be
I'd probably say
sure.
that.
Yeah.
I'd probably say he's second in the voting. I just think this team just had such a weird swing. They lost 100 games last year, and then they make the postseason.
Yeah.
I think it was like the 14th team in like the wild card era to like do that in like back-to-back years or something like that.
Yeah, it was the Orioles. The Orioles,
that was weird.
Yeah, don't take us to development. Bobby Witt was. They signed him to that massive contract, so they expect him to be good, and he is. And we just talked about how players don't perform with massive contracts. Well, Bobby Witt's kind of proving us wrong there. Great year. He's having an amazing season, and I feel like he will help this team go far. And they have talent.
Do you like the bullpen?
I do. The bullpen's not bad. They can get around it. Shake things up a bit, but they can stay consistent. Again, the playoffs are a whole new ball game, literally. Anything can happen. You just gotta stay consistent, stay strong, and do what needs to be done. And I like your pick with the Royals there. I feel like they make a good run. They need to again. They're in the playoffs for the first time.
Little Cinderella run action.
Yeah, but yes.
And I feel like the Orioles are not a bad series for them.
That's gonna be a good
honestly.
series. It's gonna be a good series.
I don't know if the Orioles have enough. They've had a lot of injuries in their pitching.
Yeah,
They really have.
yeah, they have. Yeah, they gotta figure that out.
Is Jackson Holiday playing?
I believe so.
That'll be interesting to see him in there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Holiday. Yeah, he's definitely playing. Holiday and Witt go out. I would like that. I like Kansas City starting rotation though. I feel like they can.
I feel like they can make some noise.
For sure, they can probably make it to maybe the ALC.
They got some small ball and speed.
That's all you need these days in baseball, man.
Why is that? That's just it's the easiest thing, but it's so hard to do.
Because they don't teach that no more.
Why? Why do you not teach it?
Because it's not the norm. It's like 3-point line in basketball.
That is the norm.
Well, no, I meant like home runs is the norm in baseball. Like how shooting threes is the norm in basketball. No one does that. Like no one goes to the paint in basketball when no one.
I saw Ted Williams say something about like people like you can't teach hitting or something like that.
Yeah,
it was like
you can't teach hitting, but I know you're talking about losing the quote too. But I know.
Yeah, I'm like missing the quote. I was gonna put the soundbite in here, but I didn't know what I'd need.
I sent to my tongue. I know what he's talking about, but that's how hard it is.
I don't know how you really do that. Like, I feel like because Ted Williams is like arguably one of the greatest hitters of all time. So like, I would take like what he's saying and be like, okay, like,
100%.
but
You're gonna take that advice.
yeah, it just, and he also said something very interesting. He said teams are willing to give up easier. Like, there's no fight. Like, when a team sucks and they know their season's over in the middle of the summer, they just don't care.
It's a long year. I mean, I think now might be a little different, but because Tigers, I mean, they were done. They basically in the season, July, August. I mean, they fought. I mean, 31-11. That's absurd.
And they crawled their way out of there.
I don't think that's not trying. I think they did everything they can to make that run. But I get what Ted is saying with that. But again, it's just the norm of baseball. And if you have speedy guys that could, bunt, get on base, and then your power guys do their job, don't do too much, then you'll be in a good
I also like going back to the Royals starting rotation. Reagans is good. Lugo. I like those guys.
Yes, Lugo is good.
Lugo's really good.
I like him.
I think they have enough. I just don't know if when it comes to the hitting, if they have enough.
For Baltimore?
No, for the Royals.
For Royals, okay. I was gonna say yeah. Their hitting is good. I do like their hitting.
And they still have Perez too in the bullpen.
Better, yeah. That's what they need.
And he knows what it takes to
Right.
actually win.
Exactly.
So I feel like he's a good veteran guy.
Yeah. He's a good veteran presence. He's been there for a while, so he knows what he's doing. But it'll be an interesting series. I might go Royals in that one, but I wouldn't be surprised if Baltimore sneaks it in.
I mean, I freaking picked them to go to the World Series last year as a 1 seed, and they just completely folded.
That's what maybe is the bottom line now. They're not a 1 seed now, so maybe they can just take that momentum and ride it on.
I don't know if the Orioles are a hot team. Like, I feel like they're just kind of like, eh.
Yeah, they came off.
I mean, they had 91 wins, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they're really a sleeper. Like, if you think about it,
at this
no one
point, yeah.
talks about them.
No, unfortunately.
Corbin Burns is still healthy, which is a shocker. I thought he was going to get injured again.
Yeah. Again, but Corbin has a playoff experience, so that's a good pickup for them to pass through anything they need.
That's what we said last year, though.
Yeah, but
We said the same thing.
No, but last year I thought we said that they were so young they had no experience.
But they still don't have much experience because their series was so short-lived against the Rangers.
Yeah,
they really didn't have that many games.
Yeah, but now I feel like they know what to do now, and they have the understanding of what's going on, and now they have like somewhat of momentum to go into the series. Like besides last year, like almost a week.
Yeah.
It's a little American League rival. They're not the same divisions, but I mean, it could turn to a really big rival going.
That's the thing I hate about the postseason, just in all sports, is like the regular season's so long, and then you get to the postseason, and it's just like it's over.
Yep, it's a whole different thing.
It doesn't take much at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah, Let's move on to World Series prediction. This is realistic, not dream World Series prediction. Who do you want to go first on this one?
I think we have the same actually. Unfortunately, but I didn't take it off yours.
Really, you have that team in the World Series? I thought you didn't like that team.
Yeah,
oh my God, this guy. Okay, I'm gonna say my prediction first.
Okay.
I've got the Yankees coming out of the American League.
Okay. No.
Then I've got the Philadelphia Phillies are going to be in the World Series, Ashton.
Sorry, Ashton, we love you, but
you know what I'm going to say. They've got Zach Wheeler. They've got Aaron Nola. They've got Trey Turner. They've got Bryce Harper. They have Nick Castellanos, who played 162 games this year.
he played all of them.
He was fully healthy. This Phillies team is coming into this postseason more healthy than any team in baseball. They've been consistently healthy all season long, outside of Bryce Harper. But Bryce Harper, all he needs to do is show up for the postseason. He could sit out the whole season and still crush the Braves' soul. But I'm going to go Yankees in 7, though. I think the Yankees, Aaron Boone, he's going to get his World Series. And if he doesn't, he's going to get fired because he's going to be on the hot seat. Because they are going to have to do something. I think the Yankees pitching is good enough. Garrett Cole, Carlos Rendon, we'll see if he can get back to what he was when he was on the Giants. He had like 200 strikeouts. He was good. I like the Yankees a lot. And I think the Yankees, with Aaron Judge, if he can hit a curveball, he can get there. And I also like the addition of Soto is just, it takes a lot of pressure off Judge for me. And then if Stanton can show up, I mean, they have the power. DJ LeMahieu's coming back. They also picked up Jazz Chisholm, who's been absolutely insane since they got him. First 2 games they had him, he hit 2 home runs in back-to-back games.
Yeah.
Like, he showed right away he can be a leadoff guy, which last time we had the podcast, I was saying the Yankees need a leadoff guy. And guess what? They went and got him. You know, they got him in New York. But that's my World Series prediction, and I don't have the Phillies winning, which is surprising because I've thought about it. But I don't know. I just think this is the Yankees' year.
He loves the Phils, so I'm kind of shocked.
They're just good. They're a good team. Like, what is wrong? Like,
well, I think that would be kind of unfortunate because that means they'll go if they go to the World Series this year, that would be the second time in 3 years they go to the World Series and lose.
That's what I'm saying. But they've been knocking on the door, and they honestly should have made the World Series last year.
Well, they just couldn't hit a baseball.
Right. I don't know what happened.
That's baseball.
So you have the same World Series.
I do, but I have the Phils taking it.
Wow. You love that. This guy loves the Phillies, dude. He loves them. That's their favorite team now. Forget the Cubs. That's his favorite team. I hate this, dude. I can't believe this. The contradiction of this man. The audacity of this man.
No.
He tells me every single day, I'm looking at you, Ashton. You are included in this.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Ashton.
this guy loves the Phillies. He glazes the Phillies. Oh. But guess what? Who doesn't end up picking them to win the World Series? Me. But you do. And I get crap for this. Like, this has to stop. This has to stop.
Well, I promise you, if they do go far, you're not gonna get off their back. You're gonna love it. You're gonna be like, yeah, go Phillies. Like, you're gonna be.
Of course I am, because I picked them. So are you, because you picked them to win the whole thing.
I mean, it doesn't mean I want them to. I just think they're that good. I feel like it'll be like a good Phillies, Dodgers. I mean, I'm gonna root for Ohtani. I hope you all know.
Wait, I thought you had Yankees. No, I
said Phillies.
You said Phillies, Dodgers. I'm like,
yeah. And
the
NLCS.
NL. Oh, you
yeah.
do. That'll be a good series.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. I look at how that. I mean, I can see other teams.
What did I have in the? I actually did the picks for my bracket challenge. ESPN. Did you join that?
I did.
You should join that.
I tried to do it on there, but
I've got So I've got the Tigers and Yankees in the ALCS.
Dude, I would love that.
I have the Tigers and Yankees in the ALCS, and the Dodgers and Phillies in the NLCS.
I would love that. That'd be a great series. Oh my god.
I think that'll happen. And I think the Tigers can beat Cleveland.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Cleveland's good, but I don't think Cleveland is too much for the Tigers to handle.
I mean, it's a division opponent, so maybe I could. That'd be a good series too. I might take the.
I think that goes the distance.
The Guards in that one. It does whatever series.
I mean, the
5
Guards
or
have
7.
good players. They have Steven Kwan, Jose Ramirez is still really good.
Yeah, their rotation is. I mean, their rotation is really good too. They have good outfielders. You got Class A, great closer. I mean, that's what you need in the postseason. Lockout closers, and that's what he has. I mean, hey, 1-run games, all you need, lockout closer. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm looking at my picks. I got the Mets beating the Brewers, Padres beating the Braves. Braves have no chance. Chris Sale's not even playing in this series, I don't even think. They're so done.
Yeah, they're cooked if Sale doesn't make an appearance.
Honestly, big props to the Braves. Seriously.
No, absolutely.
Big
yeah.
props. Like, you went through the worst injury bug you could have possibly had. You had, Spencer Strider got hurt at the beginning of the year. Then Ronald Acuna, who won MVP last season. You know, there's a couple other guys that got hurt too. I don't even remember.
Austin Riley got hurt.
Austin Riley did get hurt. Yeah, that kind of sucks. That's crazy to me because the Braves are still the 5th seed in the National League without their best players. Mm-hmm. Like, doesn't that just show you how good the Braves really could have been if they had those two guys?
I mean, they were the best team last year. I thought they were gonna make a run for it, and everyone decided to like turn into glass.
Everyone was saying that they're the greatest team of all time going into last postseason.
That's baseball. That's all I can say.
I feel like that's just sports, and you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But back to my World Series pick. I'm sorry, Ashton. You know, I love you, man, but.
Yeah, I don't want to hear any more slander about my Phillies towards me personally. I don't want any more personal jabs.
I mean, I'm still going to Bryce Harper you.
Yeah, Bryce Harper's amazing. Isn't he a great player? What did he do in the postseason last year against the Braves? He had a pretty good series.
I know he did in Game 6 or 7 in LCS last year.
Yeah.
He could hit the ball. Yeah.
All right. What did Trey Turner go 4 for 4 against the Braves?
Okay, wait. You didn't hit anything good. Him, Castellanos, and Trey Turner could just not.
Harper did not hit? No way. Stop it.
In the last 2 games?
Oh, they're going to hit. They're going to hit. They're going to hit.
Well, that's why I feel like this year.
Let's put that in the past.
Let's look at Zach Wheeler. Probably win Cy Young for NL.
That'll be a good matchup. Zach Wheeler versus Garrett Cole in the World Series. I would love that pitching matchup.
And the reason why I have that World Series, for me, and I said at the beginning of the year, it's World Series or bust for the Yanks. But I'm having a bad feeling that they're going to choke.
I feel like they're good,
But we have back-to-back years #1 seeds going into the World Series. We had last year.
Well, they haven't even been to the American League Championship Series in a little minute, right?
Who, Yankees? Yeah, it's been 2019.
Yeah, and then they haven't made a World Series since Jeter was there, right?
In 2009, which is actually the last time the Phillies went to the World Series, too. It's a little history there.
Hey, maybe it's destined to be.
Possibly.
Maybe it's destined to be, if I can do the math in my head. 15 years later? Oh, man. Well, anything else we want to get off our chest before the postseason starts tomorrow?
Go Cubs.
Yeah, go Cubs. We're making the World Series in 10 seasons. I probably think that. 10 more years?
Oh, my gosh, no way.
Or are we going to wait 100 more years? Add another 0. We won't be alive for that, no, dude. I don't see myself living to 120 years old. I don't see that.
No, I mean, I'll probably die in next 10 years.
And maybe if ChatGPT and all these robots help us out, maybe we can live forever.
No kidding.
Well, this is going to do it for today's episode of The Take. Give us a little bit of a round of applause. I appreciate that. All right. We got that. Let's get this out of the way, too. Yes, let's go. World Series predictions. They're in the books. We're going to be doing this. Hopefully Gabe's on next year. It might be a little bit different. I don't know if we'll be able to do it in person. That'd be crazy. But this is Gabriel Vasquez. Once again, back on the pod, helping me out with some baseball here. Yes, I'm your host, Jackson Burleson. You guys have been listening to another episode of The Take. Go Yanks, Geese. Peace.
Talk to me, baby. Talk to me nice. I'm from another world, baby, yeah. Right way paradise. They think I'm way too cold, cause I put